Hello, I'm Wendy Wilson, and I'd like to welcome you to another edition of Realizing Potential. Today I have with me in the studio a gentleman by the name of Victor Olaniyan, and you will be seeing his name very often and on the large screen in the very, very near future. I'm excited about his career and just his ambition and drive, and so I could go on, but I'm going to have Mr. Victor Olaniyan to tell me a little bit more. How are you today?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good. I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for joining me today. It's been a manic Monday, so I appreciate your patience.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Tell the viewers a little bit about you, your background as it relates to your educational pursuits, and I know you have a little bit of the acting bug, and we want to talk about that and your upcoming phenomenal opportunity that we'll be able to witness.
Yes. So I started off here in Lee County. I've always been into performing and acting. Initially chose to go the medical route, but eventually as time went on, I realized what I want to do was be in front of the screen or behind it, either directing or acting. So I'm glad that Lee County gave me the opportunity by pushing me in the right direction to know what I wanted to do. Joined the drama class and just went from there, moved to Atlanta, and then.
Okay. Yeah. Well, now tell me. So you've already. I dare not try to guess your age because I always mess up. So you're a very handsome young man. So what year did you graduate from Lee County High School?
I graduated 2012.
Okay. Yeah. So a few years ago. Okay. Yeah. And so you moved to.
I moved to Atlanta.
Okay.
2012. I've been going to Atlanta for a while prior to that, just to get a feel of it, and then moved to Atlanta. Went to Georgia State. And done with Georgia State University, and I'm headed for something. Something
else. We'll talk about that something else very shortly. What did you major in at Georgia State?
Initially, I was majoring in bio.
Bio, okay.
Yeah, okay. And then I switched over to computer science, but I still took some film classes and all that, and did music and photography and film on the side.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and so that passion kept gnawing at you.
Exactly.
and saying that you need to further develop this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The people I've met over throughout my whole journey in Atlanta, they pushed me towards that route, and I'm appreciative for everybody I met doing that.
Okay.
Because they gave me that drive pretty much.
Very good. Yeah. And you were in the right place. Atlanta appears to be the new hub as it relates to the film industry.
The new Hollywood.
Absolutely. Yeah. So now, while you were there, were there any productions that you were involved in?
Yeah, I've been on several productions. Some of them were extra work, and then I did featured action.
Okay.
Featured actor in Black Panther.
Okay. Yes. You gave it away.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. No apologies. I'm teasing you.
I can't wait.
I know. Nor can I. So for those viewers that possibly missed that, yes. You are one of the actors in the upcoming, what I know is going to be a phenomenal piece, and I'm not surprised, but I am surprised. That it's already taken off and we've not yet witnessed it, and the excitement that is in the air is just it's electric.
Insane. Yeah, we've never seen anything of this like.
Okay.
It's biggest movie, I'm gonna say, of all time.
I like it.
And I'm glad.
And I agree with you. And we're going to say, because you're in that, you have a role in it.
I do.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about how that evolved. The auditioning process. Did someone hand you the script? What your role is?
So it was the simplest role. It was the easiest role I've ever got in my life, and the best, whatever. So my theater teacher referred me to a lady who was a casting agent and stuff, and she told me, hey, submit your stuff to this email and then we'll get in contact with you. I waited for like 6-8 months. I didn't hear anything back. and they called me and they said, hey, we have this role for you. You really don't have to audition, but you will be right in front of the camera. So I was like, yeah, I'm down for it. Let's do it.
Okay.
And they gave me a role, gave me speaking lines and stuff like that. Learned it on the set.
Wow.
Fun.
Outstanding. Outstanding. Is that normal, or does it vary in terms of productions, that time, that wait time?
I think it depends on what set you're working on.
Okay.
Working with Ryan Coogler has been awesome. He's one of the best directors I've ever met.
Okay.
It's just chill, instructive. He knows what to do. He talks to you in a personal way, so you feel like you're part of his family. So it doesn't feel like you're working on a project. So I guess that personality, the way he went for it, was what helped as far as the movie.
Outstanding. And so the production took place where?
In Atlanta. It took place in Atlanta. They went to Tokyo to shoot some other scenes. I didn't go to Tokyo.
Okay.
The Doria Miljay, the female guards, they went all around. They paid for everything, and I wish they paid for
it's
some of that.
coming. It's coming. But what a remarkable piece to now be a part of your portfolio.
Exactly.
Oh, I'm sure your family's proud, and as I know you are.
I am.
Can you give us a little insight into your specific role, or should we wait until?
I think you should wait, because if I give away too much,
I understand.
It's a really pivotal scene.
I had to ask.
Yeah, it's okay. I know. I'm excited too. I can't wait. I can't wait.
I had to ask. So now we are actually going to have a preview of the film this coming Thursday. And this will, I don't want to date this actual taping, but because it'll air after that. But it'll be here at Albany at the local theater in Albany. Will you be in attendance too?
I will be in attendance. I will have my Wakanda outfit on.
I love it.
Maybe not the spear.
I love it. I'm still working on my outfit. We are just, again, it's a very contagious spirit that is that we all are feeling. We're just so proud, and primarily because of the imagery, and particularly for African Americans to be able to identify with the entire cast.
That's
or
true.
That looks like me, or that looks like my cousin or my mom, and then to have such strong characters and the message. It's just a powerful message on so many different levels. Yeah. So you waited that 6 months, and then they called you. About how long did it take for your role in terms of your contributions?
Just a week.
Just a week?
Just a week. It was, I think they were wrapping up filming, and they needed that specific scene. They told us if there was going to be any reshooting, they would give us a call and let us know. It was just a week. I was on set, had fun with the actors, Michael B. Jordan, Lupita, the beautiful Lupita.
Gorgeous, I know.
Right.
Yeah.
Angela Bassett and Daniel Kaluuya, all of them. It was just, spending a week on there made me feel, like I spent a year with these guys, because I got to know them. I got to know where they came from.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Prior to the interview, probably about a couple hours ago, I was looking at a little audio video clip of Lupita and another one of the actresses, and they were just discussing the travesty and the toll that colonization took on Africa. And what Africa would look like uncolonized. And it was very, very powerful piece. And so you're enamored with the intellect of these brilliant actresses, and then they're gorgeous on top of that. So, yeah.
Everything is pretty and amazing.
Yes.
And I think Wakanda embodied Africa without the colonization.
Without the colonization.
Africa was going to be great. Was going to be great until they came in. And probably, it's a really sensitive topic to talk about, but I'm really glad Black Panther made it open to the public in such a way that they didn't attack any specific demographic, but they also showed what we're capable of.
Absolutely.
And that's what I think. I like that about the movie.
Oh, indeed, indeed. And so I love if I can expound briefly on the point that you made of what we're capable of. And to me, because I'm much older than you are, to me it resonates because it reminds and educates what is a part of our DNA and who we are. So it's an educational lesson on so many fronts, even though it's a fictional piece.
It is,
right?
but they still had to do a lot of history. They had to learn. They had to go deeply. They had to do research about various cultures, tribal cultures. One of the scenes that I'm in, Isaiah Bunkali, he had the lip ring, and that's native to the Musi tribe from Kenya, I think. And just being able to recognize elements like that empowers our people. It makes them more knowledgeable about where we came from.
And that we're not homogenous.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my goodness.
There's a lot.
The level of diversity is
Exactly.
astounding. And so again, an educational opportunity on so many different levels. So what occurred after that? I already know that your career, once this debuts, will just absolutely skyrocket. But what have you been doing in the meantime?
In the meantime, I direct my own project. I'm also aspiring to be a filmmaker as well, and it's just something I want to go for. So I work on my own film projects, scripts that I write. I find people to act on it for me, and I just do my own creative work on the side.
Outstanding.
Yes.
Without a doubt, you just emanate a profound intelligence. I'm curious though, in terms of your family.
Yes.
That obviously they're very supportive. Your brother is off to the right. But tell me a little bit about your parents, especially when you shared with them. I'm going to shift a little bit, and so I started off with the medicine pursuit, but I want to pursue my passion of acting and film.
Yeah.
Was that received well?
It was not.
Okay.
It was not.
Love that.
It was not. In the West African culture, we always have a joke. You can either be a doctor or a lawyer or homeless. So I didn't go either route, you know what I'm saying? And they didn't receive that well. They felt like maybe being in Atlanta, I was gonna go, just do whatever. And my dad tried to get me to do some military work, and I'm like, Dad, nope. This is not my plan as of now. I have plans.
Sure.
And that was prior to sending an email out to Black Panther. And then 8 months later, 6 months later, I got that email. So it's been a struggle, definitely,
Sure.
to not be a doctor and to want to be an actor. Yeah.
I bet. I remember it's probably been almost 10 years ago, and I interviewed the author of The Godfather 2. And we were talking about having a plan B. And he said that you should never have a plan B. Yeah, your plan A, you should be committed, steadfast to the achievement of that.
Exactly.
Because once you create that plan B, it creates that soft landing.
Exactly.
And whatever your passion is, just see it through.
See it through.
Yeah.
You can never, because when you have plan B, it derails from your original plan.
Sure.
So you start thinking of alternatives. When you think about alternatives, you don't put yourself in that corner where you're forced to think or do what you really want to do.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So now, what do you do in terms of additional training? Is there more degree pursuits in your future, or?
I just want to see if I can get a master's degree
Okay.
in maybe computer science, just because. But I am not going to get that.
Okay.
I think about it all the time, but it's not something that I feel like it's going to help me in any way. I would rather go for the movie industry. I'm in it, and I'm just going to go 110%.
Okay. Are you looking at some other future opportunities, or any projects in the near horizon?
Near future? Yeah, I just finished up working on another Marvel movie.
Really?
I can't say the name.
Okay.
But it's coming out 2 years from now.
Wow.
Yeah. They finished both movies. That's as much information as I can
That's
give.
fine.
They finished both movies, which was high intense,
Okay.
within the same time period.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Very good.
So just working on that, and maybe take some more acting classes to feel more in tune with the environment and stuff.
Speaking of acting, is there a particular actor, and you may have several, but one that you were able to identify with that you've admired and respected, or continue to respect?
Terry Crews. Yeah, it's I like him because he used to be a footballer, but while he was a footballer, he would do sketches for his teammates, and that's how he was able to go into the acting business. So you can start off somewhere else and end up somewhere else if that's what you truly want to do. He's an outgoing person. He has an outgoing personality. He's honest. He's hardworking, and you can see he's successful in different areas of his life, and that's because he was working towards this goal. So I try to emulate or what he stands for. I like it. Okay. So I always try to think, what would Terry Crews do in a situation like this? He would go for it.
Okay, very good. Now let me make sure. Terry Crews, the actor that was involved in, and I know he has an expansive, I want to make sure that we're talking about the same individual.
Everybody hates
Chris. Now what's interesting, do you know that he has some Albany ties? He has family members that are here in Albany.
Really?
Yes,
I didn't know that.
absolutely,
That's really
absolutely.
cool.
I know one of his cousins. In fact, he's a very accomplished hairstylist here in the community. Yeah, small world.
That's really cool.
He is a great actor. I just wanted to make sure we were talking about the right individual. I've always been impressed with his work, or his body of work. I'm an avid reader. Tell me a book that has most impacted your life outside of your preferred religious text.
I would have to go for Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe.
Yes.
Yeah, that's one. Yeah,
that's one of the staples in terms of reading lists, particularly in collegiate environments. But tell the viewers why it's influenced and impacted you.
It's impacted me because of the themes that it comes from in the story. So as far as the pre-colonization, post-colonization, how we reacted to Western civilization, how the Western civilization came and took our resources. I felt like the book, although it was fictional, it still exposed the world to what was happening. And being a kid, I actually didn't read it for class project. I just picked it up when I was young, and I was like, oh, what is this? Things Fall Apart. Could be a sad story about love, but it wasn't. It was one of the best books I've read, and Chinua Achebe has a way of putting words to make him evoke a sense of feeling. And as a black person, if you read that book, you feel part of Africa. Sure. You feel a part of what we were prior to when our riches were taken away. And I think it just resonates in me because I feel like Okonkwo, the main, he tried to defy the societal, what they wanted. He wanted to be successful. He wanted to be the best, but he was limited because of the Western coming to restrict them. Sure. So I feel like that's facing a challenge that's important.
That so many of us face on a daily basis. And so it is always interesting and delightful, and it can also be very sad at times. The way that we can connect to characters and books, and but they can also enlighten us and somewhat give us a direction in terms of how we can move forward and navigate. But we all want to connect, and coming full circle with this conversation, I'm sure that is what will continue to be heralded as a part of the Black Panther movie, is to be able to identify and connect and see myself on the screen, or to have similar experiences.
Exactly. We just want to feel connected.
Sure.
We want to feel connected. I don't feel like a lot of black experiences are being captured. If you look on the TV, it's Caucasian, not to be offensive to anybody, but I feel like we have to break into the industry. We have to break into, even if it's not the movie industry, science, blacks, black women. It's difficult for us, and we're not gonna stand for it.
I love that attitude. And again, the plan A, whatever that passion is.
Exactly.
And so one of that's, again, in theme or synonymous with what we do here at Albany State University. I'm sure you discovered that at Georgia State as well.
Yes, ma'am.
So identify what it is that you're good at. We will help you in that discovery process as it relates to the disciplines that we offer here. And the world is yours. It will not always be an easy process. Most times it is not, which adds to the appreciation and your determination or the identification of you being committed to the process. This is where I'm trying to go with that.
At Georgia State, I actually learned about a theory called the chaos theory, and that's that everything in life everything new starts from a chaos. So if you follow that, you won't really look at it as a chaos, but more as a stepping stone for something new.
That was confirmation for me. I just had some challenges last week, and someone had to remind me that this is all a part of your process, and this is all of the honing and the development and preparing you for whatever the next is.
Exactly, and it's up to you to choose.
It is, and up to you to stay in it also. A lot of times we feel like we're mired in it and cement our feet. Exactly, yes.
But that's not the best way to attack it.
Indeed. I don't typically ask this, but hopefully you will not be offended. How old are you?
I am 22.
22. Lots of wisdom for a 22-year-old, and so
Thank you. 22.
To give credit to your parents and their exposing you, and then you having access to books and reading, and it's very clear that you are. I keep falling back on the word committed, but to your overall development and the growth and expansion of your mind. So you are to be commended. Well, I could keep talking. Just promise me that when the next, because I know you're going to skyrocket into superstardom, so that you'll have to come back and visit us at Albany State.
Definitely. I'll come back with Terry Crews.
That would absolutely. We'd love to have him. We'd love to have him. Yes. He did a great job in setting the example. And you clearly will stand in your own right, but we are again over the moon about Black Panther and how we know will resonate in the lives of so many people, and serve as inspiration to lots of young people, whether they're 99 or whether they're 8 years old.
That's true.
Particularly bringing insight into our origins.
Exactly.
So I'm super excited. I will see you on Thursday. Safe travels. I know you're going to head out of town briefly. That's the life of a jet setter. I want to be like you when I grow up. Victor, it was a pleasure having you on the show today. Continued success.
Thank you.
Viewers, thank you so much for joining me for this edition of Realizing Potential. I'm Wendy Wilson, and I will see you next time.